Your dog won't eat kibble. This is the solution. You know what's terrifying? Watching your best friend's food bowl sit untouched for 3 days straight. But here's what nobody tells you. In most cases, when your dog refuses to eat, it has absolutely nothing to do with being sick. What I discovered after nearly losing my mind with worry will completely change how you understand your dog's relationship with food. And it's backed by veterinary science that's been hiding in plain sight. If you enjoy fascinating insights like this and want to see more, make sure to subscribe so you don't miss out. The day I thought I was going to lose my best friend. Have you ever felt your heart drop into your stomach? That's exactly what happened to me on a Tuesday afternoon, when I realized my golden retriever, Max, hadn't touched his food in 3 full days. 3 days. I kept telling myself it was normal. Maybe he's just being picky. Maybe he ate something on our walk. Maybe it's the weather, but deep down, I knew something was wrong. His eyes had lost that sparkle. His tail wagged slower, and that bowl, that damn bowl just sat there full, mocking me every time I walked past the kitchen. I remember kneeling next to him, running my fingers through his fur and whispering, "Please, buddy, just eat something." He looked at me with those big brown eyes, sniffed the bowl and walked away. My throat tightened. Was I losing him? Here's the thing about dogs that most people don't realize. They're incredibly resilient animals. Technically, a healthy dog can survive for weeks without food. But here's what kept me awake at night. After just 3 to 5 days without adequate nutrition, they start losing muscle mass. Their organs begin working harder. Their immune system weakens. I wasn't just watching my dog skip meals, I was watching him slowly deteriorate right in front of me. The worst part, I felt completely helpless. I tried everything I could think of. I switched brands, from chicken flavor to beef. I mixed in treats, hoping the smell would entice him. I even tried hand-feeding him, 1 kibble at a time, like he was a puppy again. Nothing worked. Each failed attempt felt like another step toward losing him. By day 4, I couldn't take it anymore. I called my vet in a panic and got an emergency appointment that same afternoon. I drove there convinced they were going to tell me something devastating. Cancer. Kidney failure. Something awful that would explain why my healthy, vibrant dog suddenly refused to eat. The waiting room felt like an eternity. I watched other dog owners come and go with their happy, healthy pets, and I just sat there, holding Max, feeling like the world's worst dog parent. How did I let it get this bad? What did I miss? When Dr. Martinez finally called us in, she examined Max thoroughly, checked his teeth, felt his abdomen, took his temperature, listened to his heart. The whole time my heart was racing. Then she looked at me with this expression I couldn't quite read and said something I didn't expect. "His health is actually fine." Wait, what? No infection, no obvious pain, no signs of disease. His vitals are normal, his teeth look good for his age. I should have felt relieved, but instead I felt confused. If he's healthy, then why won't he eat? Dr. Martinez smiled like she'd seen this 1,000 times before. "This is actually more common than you think," she said. "About 60% of dog owners report episodes of food refusal at some point in their dog's life. And in most cases, it's not a medical emergency. 60%. That's more than half of all dog owners. I wasn't alone in this nightmare, but if it wasn't a medical problem, then what was it? That's when Dr. Martinez started explaining things that completely changed my understanding of dog nutrition. She talked about behavioral factors, environmental stressors, and something I'd never even considered, how dogs are actually biologically wired to be interested in food variety and freshness, not the same dry kibble every single day. "Think about it," she said. "In nature, dogs are opportunistic feeders. They hunt, they scavenge, they eat different things based on what's available. Every meal is different in texture, temperature, and smell. But we expect them to be excited about eating the exact same thing from the same bowl at the same time every day for years. My mind was racing. She continued, "Sometimes dogs refuse food because they're bored. Sometimes it's because something in their environment changed and caused stress. Sometimes they've learned that if they hold out long enough, they'll get something better. And sometimes they're trying to tell us that something about their food just isn't working for them anymore." I sat there, processing everything, feeling a mix of relief and frustration. Relief because Max wasn't dying. Frustration because nobody had ever told me any of this before. All those dog food commercials, all those training videos, all those articles I'd read, none of them mentioned that my dog might just be bored. Dr. Martinez grabbed a chart from her desk and showed me statistics about canine feeding behavior. She explained how a dog's sense of smell is 40 times more powerful than ours, and how that makes them incredibly sensitive to food freshness and aroma. She talked about dental issues that develop silently in 80% of dogs over 3 years old, making dry kibble painful to chew without obvious symptoms. But then she said something that stopped me cold. "What I'm about to tell you will change everything you think you know about feeding your dog. And it explains why 8 out of every 10 dogs eventually go through a phase of refusing their regular food." I leaned forward, desperate for answers. But what the veterinarian revealed next didn't just solve Max's problem. It completely transformed how I understood canine nutrition and why the entire pet food industry might have been getting it wrong this whole time. If this story resonates with you, or if your dog is going through something similar right now, leave a comment below. I read every single one, and I'll respond to your questions. And don't forget to subscribe, because what comes next will change everything. What your vet knows, but the pet food industry doesn't want you to discover. Dr. Martinez pulled her chair closer and lowered her voice, almost like she was sharing a secret. "Here's what most dog owners don't understand," she began. "Your dog is only separated from their wolf ancestors by about 15,000 years. Genetically, they're 99.9% identical." I looked down at Max, sprawled on the exam room floor, looking nothing like a wolf. She laughed. I know, but stay with me. Think about how wolves eat in the wild. They hunt, they bring down prey. That meal is warm, it's fresh, it's varied, different textures, different organs, different nutritional profiles every single time. Their food has moisture, it has smell, it has life. She paused, letting that sink in. Now think about kibble. Same brown pellets, same temperature, room temperature or colder. Same texture, dry and crunchy. Same smell, or lack of smell after sitting in a bag for weeks. Same taste, every single day, for years. My mind immediately went to a comparison she hadn't even made yet. That's like asking a human to eat the same granola bar for breakfast, lunch, and dinner for their entire life. Exactly, she said, her eyes lighting up. Imagine eating the exact same dry cracker 3 times a day, every day, for 10 to 15 years. No matter how nutritionally complete that cracker is, your brain would eventually rebel against it. You'd lose interest. You might even develop an aversion to it. That hit me hard. I'd been so focused on finding the perfect kibble, the one with the best ingredients, the highest ratings, the veterinary approval, that I never stopped to think about the monotony of it from Max's perspective. Dr. Martinez opened her laptop and showed me research from a canine nutrition study. Dogs have about 1,700 taste buds compared to our 9,000. They don't taste food the same way we do, but their sense of smell, 40 times more powerful than ours. For dogs, food is experienced primarily through aroma. When kibble sits in a bag, even in an airtight container, it loses volatile compounds, the aromatic molecules that make food appealing to them. She clicked to another page. There's documented research showing that dogs demonstrate clear preferences for food variety and foods with stronger odors. It's not stubbornness, it's biology. I felt a knot forming in my stomach, part guilt, part revelation. So I've basically been serving him flavorless, boring food and expecting him to be grateful. You've been doing what every dog owner does because it's what we're taught, she reassured me. But now let me tell you the 5 real reasons dogs refuse kibble, because understanding these will help you solve this permanently. I grabbed my phone to take notes. This was information I wish I'd had years ago. First, there's sensory fatigue. She explained that while dogs don't taste as intensely as we do, they rely heavily on smell to stimulate appetite. When food lacks aroma, which dry kibble often does, their brain simply doesn't register it as appealing or even as food. It's like when you have a stuffy nose and nothing tastes good anymore, except for your dog. Low-odor food is like that all the time. Second, silent dental problems. This one shocked me. 80% of dogs over 3 years old have some degree of periodontal disease, Dr. Martinez said. But most owners never notice because dogs are incredibly good at hiding pain. A dog with sore gums or a cracked tooth won't yelp or cry. They'll just quietly start avoiding hard, crunchy food. I thought about Max. He was 6. Had I missed signs of dental pain? Check for these, she said. Bad breath that smells worse than typical dog breath. Slightly swollen gums. Hesitation before biting down on hard treats. Most people think their dog is just being picky, but they're actually experiencing discomfort every time they chew. Third, emotional and environmental changes. Dogs are creatures of absolute routine and emotional sensitivity, Dr. Martinez explained. A change in your work schedule, a new pet in the house, construction noise outside, even you being stressed, all of these can suppress their appetite. She told me about a case where a dog stopped eating because the family moved his food bowl from the kitchen to the laundry room. That's how sensitive they are to environmental changes. When dogs feel anxious or uncertain, eating becomes a low priority. In the wild, a stressed wolf doesn't stop to snack. Your dog's brain works the same way. Fourth, the quality question. Dr. Martinez pulled up ingredient lists from common kibble brands. Not all dog food is created equal. Some brands use byproducts, fillers, and artificial flavors to make low-quality ingredients palatable. But here's the thing. Dogs can actually sense when food lacks nutritional value. She showed me studies indicating that dogs will instinctively avoid foods that don't meet their nutritional needs, even if those foods smell okay. They're not being difficult. Their body is literally telling them this food isn't good enough. And fifth, this is the one that made me cringe. Involuntary conditioning by the owner. Me. I was the problem. Here's what happens, Dr. Martinez said gently. Dog refuses kibble. Owner worries. Owner adds something delicious, chicken, cheese, wet food. Dog eats enthusiastically. Owner feels relieved and repeats this pattern. The dog learns, if I refuse the boring food, I get the good stuff. I'd done exactly this. Multiple times, I'd trained Max to be picky without even realizing it. It's not your fault, she added quickly. It's completely natural to want to feed your dog when they're hungry, but inadvertently, you've taught him that holding out pays off. I sat back, overwhelmed. 5 different reasons, and Max probably had a combination of several. No wonder switching brands hadn't worked. I wasn't addressing the actual problem. So what do I do? I asked. How do I fix this? Dr. Martinez smiled. This is where it gets interesting. There's a concept in veterinary behavioral science called food enrichment. It's not about buying expensive brands or completely changing your dog's diet. It's about strategic, small changes that have massive impact on their relationship with food. She started sketching something on a notepad, a weekly plan with different approaches for different days. The solution isn't complicated, she said. But there's one critical mistake that 90% of dog owners make when they try to fix this problem. And if you make this mistake, nothing else will work. I leaned forward. What mistake? She looked me straight in the eye, and what she said next was so counterintuitive, so opposite of what I thought I should do, that I almost didn't believe her. But when I tried it, when I actually implemented what she told me, Max was eating enthusiastically within 24 hours. And it had nothing to do with buying different food. Have you ever accidentally trained your dog to be picky without realizing it? Drop a comment. I want to hear your story. And if you're not subscribed yet, hit that button now, because what I'm about to reveal in the next part will save you so much frustration and money. The fatal errors that make everything worse, and the simple protocol that changes everything. Dr. Martinez put down her pen and looked at me seriously. Before I give you the solution, you need to understand the 3 mistakes that will sabotage everything. If you make even one of these errors, you'll end up right back where you started, frustrated, worried, and watching your dog refuse to eat. Mistake number 1, she said, holding up a finger. Leaving food available all day long. Wait, what? Wasn't that supposed to be convenient? Here's why this destroys your dog's appetite, she explained. In nature, food is scarce. Wolves hunt, and when they make a kill, there's urgency. But when food sits in a bowl 24/7, there's no urgency, no instinct triggered, no reason to eat now versus later. Research on canine feeding behavior shows that dogs with scheduled meal times regulate their hunger hormones better. Their bodies learn when to expect food, and appetite increases naturally before mealtime. But with constant availability, their brain never gets the signal that it's time to eat. It's the psychology of scarcity. When something is always there, it loses value. Mistake number 2, she continued, mixing tasty foods directly into the kibble. But that's what I'd been doing, mixing in chicken bits, cheese, wet food. I know, she said, but here's what actually happens. Your dog learns to eat around the kibble, picking out only the good stuff. They become expert miners, searching for treasure and leaving behind everything else. Max would literally nose through his bowl, extracting chicken pieces and leaving the kibble behind. Worse, you create dependence, Dr. Martinez said. The dog's brain rewires to expect those additions. Plain kibble becomes completely unacceptable. You're creating a more picky eater. And mistake number 3, switching kibble brands every time your dog refuses food. Guilty. I'd gone through 4 different brands in 2 months. Dogs need 7 to 10 days minimum to adjust to a new food formula. When you switch constantly, you're creating ongoing digestive stress. Plus, it doesn't address why they refused the original food in the first place. 3 mistakes. I'd made all 3. Okay, I said. Tell me what actually works. Dr. Martinez smiled. The 7-day reset method. Days 1 and 2, behavioral reset. Feed your dog at the same times every day, morning and evening. Put the food down, set a timer for 15 minutes, and then remove it. No exceptions. The crucial part, no treats, no snacks between meals during these 2 days. Day 1 and 2, your dog might not eat much or at all. This is normal. A healthy dog can easily go 48 hours without food while their behavior adjusts. Stay calm. Days 3 and 4, sensory activation. Add warm water to the kibble about 5 minutes before serving. This releases aromatic compounds, making the food smell much stronger. Heat causes volatile compounds to become airborne. For a dog whose eating decisions are 70% based on smell, this is transformative. You can also add a small amount of low-sodium broth, chicken or beef with no onions or garlic, just enough to coat the kibble. The key difference? You're enhancing the existing food, not replacing it. She also recommended feeding after exercise. Physical activity increases appetite and mimics the hunt-then-eat pattern. Days 5 through 7. Consolidation. Start reducing the water or broth gradually. Continue the 15-minute rule and scheduled feeding times. For long-term maintenance, she suggested rotating between different protein sources from the same brand every few months. And seek professional help immediately if your dog shows vomiting, diarrhea, extreme lethargy, or refuses water. This method is for behavioral issues, not illness. I started the protocol that night. Day 1 was hard. Max sniffed his food and walked away. 15 minutes later, I picked it up, heart aching. Day 2, he ate maybe a quarter of his portion. Day 3, I added warm water. The kitchen filled with aroma. Max's ears perked up. He approached and started eating. He ate half. Day 4, after our walk, I served dinner with a bit of broth. He finished the entire bowl. By day 7, Max was waiting by his bowl at feeding time, tail wagging. But here's what Dr. Martinez didn't tell me. There was one more element that made the difference between success and failure. Something that had nothing to do with food, schedules, or techniques. And when I finally understood what it was, everything clicked into place in a way I never expected. If you're ready to try this method, let me know in the comments how it goes. I want to hear your results. And subscribe, because the final piece of this puzzle is something nobody talks about, but it's absolutely critical. The hidden element that transforms everything. It's not what you think. By day 7, Max was eating normally again. The protocol had worked, but something else had changed too. Something I didn't notice until my friend Sarah came over with her dog Luna. Luna had the same problem, refusing kibble for weeks. Sarah was desperate, so I walked her through the entire 7-day method. I gave her Dr. Martinez's guide, explained the mistakes to avoid, the warm water trick, the 15-minute rule, everything. 2 weeks later, Sarah called me, frustrated. "It's not working," she said. "Luna's still barely eating. I followed every single step exactly like you told me." I was confused. It had worked perfectly for Max. What was different? Then I went to Sarah's house and watched her feed Luna. The moment I saw her approach the food bowl, I understood. Sarah was hovering. Her energy was tense, anxious, almost desperate. She put the bowl down while talking in a high-pitched, pleading voice. "Come on, Luna. Please eat. You need to eat. Please, baby. Just try it." Luna looked at the bowl, looked at Sarah's anxious face, and walked away. That's when it hit me. The secret ingredient that nobody talks about. Your energy. Here's what most dog owners don't realize. Dogs are emotional mirrors. There's research from the University of Vienna published in 2015 showing that dogs synchronize their stress levels with their owners. When you're anxious, your dog feels it. When you're tense, they become tense. And when you're desperate for your dog to eat, hovering over them, watching every movement, pleading with them, you're creating pressure. And pressure kills appetite. Think about it from your own experience. Have you ever had someone hover over you during a meal, watching you eat, asking if you like it, if everything's okay? How did that feel? Uncomfortable, right? Dogs experience the same thing, amplified because they're so tuned into our emotional states. I explained this to Sarah. You need to put the bowl down with complete neutrality. No talking, no eye contact, no emotional energy. Just place it, set your timer, and walk away. Act like it's the most normal, boring thing in the world. "But what if she doesn't eat?" Sarah asked, her voice already rising with anxiety. "Then she doesn't eat," I said calmly. "And that's okay. A healthy dog will not starve herself. But she needs to know that mealtime is her choice, not your emergency." This is the hardest part for loving dog owners to accept. We care so much that our caring becomes counterproductive. Our worry becomes their stress. The next day, Sarah tried again. She put Luna's bowl down, set the timer, and left the room. She forced herself to do dishes, scroll her phone, anything to avoid watching. When the timer went off, Luna had eaten about 60% of her food. By day 3 of this new approach, Luna was finishing her meals. What changed? The method was the same. But Sarah's energy had transformed from anxious and controlling to calm and confident. And Luna felt that shift. There's fascinating science behind this. When you're stressed, your body releases cortisol. Dogs can literally smell cortisol in human sweat and breath. When they detect your stress hormones, their brain interprets the environment as unsafe. And in an unsafe environment, eating is not a priority. But when you're calm, when you exude quiet confidence that everything is fine, your dog's nervous system relaxes. Their brain registers, my human is calm, so the environment must be safe. It's okay to eat. During my week with Max, I hadn't realized it, but I'd naturally shifted my energy. By day 3, I'd stopped panicking. I'd stopped watching him like a hawk. I trusted the process, and that trust created a calm environment where Max felt safe to eat. Let me be clear. Calm energy doesn't mean neglect. It doesn't mean you don't care. It means you care enough to create the emotional space your dog needs to make healthy choices. So here's what the complete solution actually looks like. The method: structured feeding times, 15-minute rule, sensory enhancement with warm water, feeding after exercise, consistency. The mindset: patience, trust in the process, understanding that temporary hunger won't harm a healthy dog. The energy: calm, neutral, confident. You're the provider, not the pleader. All 3 elements together create the transformation. Remove any one of them, and the results will be inconsistent. Looking back at my journey with Max, from that terrifying moment when I thought I was losing him, to understanding the science behind canine feeding, to implementing a structured protocol, to finally recognizing the power of my own emotional state, I realize it was never just about the food. It was about understanding my dog as a complete being with instincts, emotions, and needs that go beyond nutrition. It was about learning to lead with calm confidence instead of anxious love. Today, Max eats his meals enthusiastically. Not because I found some magical kibble brand, not because I bribe him with treats, but because I created an environment where eating feels natural, safe, and satisfying. And here's what I want you to know. If your dog is refusing food right now, you're not a bad dog parent. You're not failing. You're simply navigating a challenge that 60% of dog owners face at some point. The difference is, now you have the knowledge to handle it. You understand the mistakes to avoid. You have a proven protocol to follow. And most importantly, you know that your calm, confident energy is the secret ingredient that ties everything together. Start tomorrow. Implement the 7-day method. But before you do, take a deep breath. Release the anxiety. Trust that your dog's body knows what it needs. Trust that you have the tools to help them rediscover their natural appetite. Your dog doesn't need you to be perfect. They need you to be present, patient, and calm. They need you to create structure without stress, to provide without pressuring, to care without creating anxiety. You can do this. I did it. Sarah did it. Countless others have done it. And when you see your dog approach their bowl with enthusiasm again, you'll understand that this journey wasn't just about fixing a feeding problem. It was about deepening your bond and becoming the calm, confident leader they need you to be. If this video helped you, I'd love to hear about it in the comments. Share your story, your struggles, your successes, your questions. I read every comment and respond to them all. And if you haven't subscribed yet, please do. Every subscriber tells me this information is valuable and motivates me to keep sharing. Your dog is lucky to have you. Now go create that calm, confident energy and watch the transformation happen.